Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I do have a fairly good size book haul here, and yeah, it's a very cold day. Got the polar vortex going through, so I took the puppies out. I'm going to do this video and then I'm going to finish up my book, and it is Fatal Winter by G.M. Malliot, and this author does the Max Tudor mystery series. And so Max Tudor is this Anglican priest who used to work with the M15, which is similar to the CIA in the States or the CSIS in Canada. And he got pretty disillusioned and quit that job, became an Anglican priest in this very small village, and of course he gets involved in murder mysteries. So I'm going to be finishing this today. I don't have too much left and it's hard to put down, so that's what I'll be finishing up today. So the first book, most of these are from Book Outlet. They did have a $7.99 sale on a little while ago. They do have quite a few throughout the year, and they gave me a couple of coupons in different orders, 10 off $50 coupons, which I've used up. I still have a couple of orders coming yet, and the rest are from Awesome Books, which is the online bookstore located in the UK that sells used and new books. And if I have trouble finding a UK published book, I can't find them in libraries here, or they're too expensive to ship through Amazon or what have you, I get them on Awesome Books. So I'll start with the first book that I got off Awesome Books, and I'm very excited to get this used. And it's by Richard Osman, who did the Thursday Murder Club, and I do have all 4 books, and I read 2 of those books. And this is his new series, We Solve Murders, and I guess it's a gentleman, Steve Wheeler, who is retired, and he does investigative work, and then his daughter-in-law is Amy Wheeler, and she works in private security, and they get involved in a murder mystery, and I guess it takes place in various places. They go around the world solving these murders, so it sounds very good, and I've heard very good reviews about that, so very excited to get a used copy of that. And when I was in Scotland a couple of years ago, I bought so much stuff. It was a great place to shop, and of course the bookstores and that have such good deals, much better than in Canada here. And in the store called The Works, I found the first 3 books in this particular series. It was like 3 books for £5, which is such a good deal. And the first book is, what was the first book? A Murder of Crows, A Cast of Falcons, and A Mischief of Rats, I believe, are the first 3. And I went online and I just could not get them anywhere used or on Kindle or anything like that. So I kept watching for Awesome Books, and they finally had the other 3 books in the series: A Trace of Hares, A Generation of Vipers, and A Swarm of Butterflies. So if I think this is kind of like a cozy mystery. What's the first book here? So I can figure out. Is it A Murder of Crows? So Dr. Nell Ward is an ecologist, not a detective, but when she's a prime suspect in a murder, only her unique set of skills could help clear her name. So it takes place in like a sleepy village. So it's one of those murder mysteries in a small little village in England, which I just absolutely love reading. So she gets wrapped up in this murder, and she's a suspect, and just with her skills as an ecologist and a doctor and that, she is helped solve the murder. So very excited to get the rest of those books in the series. And then I'm trying to get more into fantasy, not like heavy-duty fantasy, but sort of lighter fantasy. But I did see this during the $7.99 sale, and I just had to have this one. This is 5 Broken Blades by May Corland, and I'm always drawn by covers, I gotta tell you. But it had a sprayed edge, and I absolutely love sprayed edges. And this one is absolutely gorgeous. So for $7.99, I thought I'd give it a try. And that's the inside of the cover. And then this is the hardback. Isn't that gorgeous? So very excited to get this one. And yeah, there's the 5 most dangerous liars in the land of Yusan have been mysteriously summoned to work together for a single objective: to kill the God King June. So yeah, thought I'd give that fantasy a try. And then this other one is also from Book Outlet. This is The Ministry of Time. And yeah, there was a lot of hype when it first came out, and then it sort of started getting mixed reviews, but I really did like the synopsis of this. So in the near future, the civil servant is offered the salary of her dreams to work on a top secret project. A recently established government ministry is gathering expats from across history to establish whether time travel is feasible for the human body, but also for the fabric of space-time. So she is tasked to work as this bridge, assisting and monitoring the expat known as 1847 Commander Graham Core. So yeah, this it sounds very, very interesting. So if you read this, let me know how you liked it. I really did like this synopsis. It just sounds quite fascinating. And then Tana French, the author of The Dublin Murder Squad. A lot of this revolves around, the other series, the Dublin series, revolved around murder mysteries in Ireland near Dublin. And it was a series, but you could read them individually if you wanted to. So I did read a couple of those books, and I really did like it. Though the last one, called The Likeness, I really wasn't too keen on. It was very long, probably about 100 pages too long and kind of repetitive. And but yeah, the other ones I did like. So this is a different series. The first one is The Searcher and The Hunter, and I believe these are off Book Outlet. So Cal Hooper, he worked with the Chicago police force for 25 years, and then he got a divorce. He wanted to start fresh, so he moves to this fixer-upper in a remote Irish village, and then a young boy goes missing, and he kind of gets drawn into the investigation. And this is the second book in the series. And then this is a new series. I'm kind of going through awesome books, and I saw this was getting like rave reviews, and it's by Peter May, The Black House, and this is the 10th anniversary edition. So his books have gotten really, really good reviews. So this takes place on an isolated island off the coast of Scotland, Isle Lewis, and I do love those isolated murder mysteries and thrillers that take place off the coast of the UK, like Scotland or the Hebrides Islands or Ireland or Scotland, what have you. I just really, really like those. So a brutal killing takes place on the Isle of Lewis, Scotland, a land of harsh beauty and inhabitants of deep-rooted faith. And this Finn MacLeod is sent from Edinburgh to investigate, and he was actually born on this island. So yeah, sounds really, really good. So yeah, very, very good reviews. Sorry, I shouldn't sit like that at my age. So yeah, very excited to try that out. And this is The Shadow Key by Susan Stokes Chapman. And I just absolutely love the cover. It's just gorgeous. And this is actually quite a long book. It's like about 450 pages. And this one I got, can't remember if I got this on Book Outlet for $7.99 or I can't remember now. Anyway, there's something mysterious about the village of Penhelg. Will it, unlocking its truth, bring light or darkness? So Dr. Henry Tablet has been dismissed from his post in London. The only job he can get find is in Wales, where belief in myth and magic is rife and the villagers treat him with suspicion. So he discovers his predecessor has died under mysterious circumstances, and he's determined to find answers. So yeah, I just love history books. It just sounds so gothic and eerie, and and that cover is just amazing. And then this is The Story Collector by Evie Woods. And this, in a quiet village in Ireland, a mysterious local myth is about to change everything. So 100 years ago, Anna, a young farm girl, volunteers to help an intriguing American visitor translate fairy stories from Irish to English. It's not as it seems. Anna soon finds herself at the heart of a mystery that threatens her way of life. And then in present day, Sarah Harper boards a plane bound for the west coast of Ireland, but once there, she finds she has unearthed dark secrets that tread the line between the everyday and the otherworldly. So that sounds really, really good. And I do like books that take place in bookshops. Some are great, others don't quite pull it off. I did get this series. The first book is Lost for Words, and this is by Stephanie Butland. And the second book is found in a bookshop. And this one, Loveday Cardew, prefers books to people. If you look carefully, you might glimpse the first lines of the novels she loves most tattooed on her skin. So she's in her refuge, and the York Book Emporium where she works, and she gets 3 mysterious deliveries. Each of them stirs unsettling memories, and everything is about to change for her, and she can't keep her past hidden anymore. And then this is the second book in the series. So, and this is a really interesting cover, and this is Not Forgetting the Whale by John Ironmonger. And a young man washes up naked on the sands of St. Piran in Cornwall. He is quickly rescued by the villagers, from the retired village doctor and the school teacher to the owner of the local bar, the priest wife, and the romantic novelist. They all take him into their midst. What they don't know is that he has fled the city of London, fearing a worldwide collapse of civilization, a collapse forecast by Cassie, a computer program he designed. Is the end of the world really coming? Can Joe convince the villagers to seal themselves off from the outside world? So I thought that sounded quite interesting and unique. Alrighty, did I get them all here? Oh, no. This is The Bleeding by Johanna Gustafsson. Anyway, that's the name. And sprayed edges. And yeah, this might have been Awesome Books, I believe. So this actually takes place over 3 different time periods. And I think this is a Canadian author to tell. No, she lives in Sweden. Born in France, and she lives in Sweden. Anyway, 3 women, 3 eras, 1 extraordinary mystery. So the first takes place in 1899, 1949, and 2002, and somehow these are all linked. It involves black magic and murder, secret societies, and spiritualism, and women at a breaking point. So yeah, that sounds really good. And then this is, I think this was a $7.99 sale on Book Outlet also, and I think this is still on Book Outlet. And this is by Jennifer Thorne. This is Diavola, and it's actually a very intriguing cover, very spooky and eerie. And so it follows this family that goes on this vacation, and they're staying at this remote villa, and yeah, things start going off the rails. There's strange noises at night, unsettling warnings from the local villagers, and the dark, violent past of the villa itself. So, heard fairly good things about this one from a couple of reviewers. And this is The Night of the Witch. A witch never fall for her hunter. Sarah Rash and Beth Revis, and yeah, very beautiful cover. And so Fritzy is a witch, and she's a lone survivor of a brutal attack on her coven, and she's determined to find her only remaining family member and bring the Hexajäger's zealot witch hunters to justice for the lives they ended. So she has to somehow take down their leader, and then Otto is one of these witch hunters, but that's just a cover. So years ago, the witch hunters burned his innocent mother alive, and he has been plotting his revenge against these people. And then Fritzy and this Otto, who is sort of in disguise as a witch hunter, sort of work together in that. So, yeah, so that is the Night of the Witch. And then the last two are historical novels, which I just love. I'm always interested in reading about the Scottish clearings, which happened in the sort of around the 1850s, but it took place over a number of years, where the owners kicked the farmers off their land, and so they could substitute with like sheep farming and that. Very complex, very devastating, and the one book I did read about it, I was very disappointed in it. It was more of a character study of this particular woman, and didn't really get into the Scottish clearances. So I thought I'd try this one. This is by Karis Davies, and this is called Clear. And this actually follows this minister. So near the end of the Scottish clearances, communities of the rural poor were driven from their homes by the landowners. And so this minister has to take this job of evicting a farmer despite his own misgivings and his wife's disapproval. So he has to travel to this remote island where he is tasked with expelling the last remaining resident who has lived there by himself alone for decades. So I've heard it's just a very, very emotional, well-written book. And then there's the Irish famine, and if you look back in history, that could have been avoided. English needed to step up more. And I did read a YA fiction about the Irish famine, which actually was very, very good. And I picked this one up, The Hungry Road by Marita Conlon McKenna. As a nation starves, heroes must emerge. And so Ireland's hope for freedom are dashed with the arrival of the deadly potato plague that strikes terror in the hearts of its people. So this takes place in 1845, and there's this seamstress, Mary Sullivan, and just her and her family's fight for survival. And it also follows a medical officer and his how much he helps in that. So yeah, sounds, I really do love history, and even though it's not based on real people, this is what the people did actually go through and the horrors of it. So, all right, that's it. So yeah, I'm just so excited by all of these books. They just sound so good. And yeah, it's always hard when I finish a book to know which one to read next, because there's a couple hundred I want to read next. So I'm going to go tuck these away, and then I'm going to finish up A Fatal Winter. So yeah, I just love in the wintertime. Right now it stopped snowing, but yeah, to bundle up and get a nice hot drink and read a book that takes place on a snowy day or during a storm or whatever. It's so cuddly and cozy and comforting. So I'm going to read this. So I am going to put my books away, and I hope you have having a really good reading month. Yeah, the winter time is a perfect time to cozy up and enjoy a really good book. So anyway, everyone take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Oh, sorry. I had some more books around the corner. I didn't see. I hope you're not being blinded by that sun. I guess I should have closed that blind. Anyway, so this one I've always wanted to get my hands on, and this was on the book outlet. And this is The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. Beautiful cover. This is a nice, cozy kind of read. And it's got sprayed edges, which I just absolutely love. So a lush cottagecore tale full of stolen spell books, unexpected friendships, sweet jams, and even sweeter love. So Keela has trouble dealing with people. She's a librarian at the Great Library of Elysium, and she has a assistant, Kaz, a magically sentient spider plant. So yeah, I do like cozy reads sometimes. It's just, anyway, heard good things about that one. And this is by Oscar de Muriel, and I'm so glad I found this on Book Outlet. Usually I can't, have to go on to like Awesome Books or sometimes even Amazon to get this. This is The Sign of the Devil by Oscar de Muriel, and this is the 7th and final book in the, what's it called? Oh, the Freya McRae series. Oh, sorry, it's quite bright here. Though the sun feels good, I tell you. So McRae is a detective in Edinburgh, and Frey has come from London to help solve murders and that sort of thing. And they're two totally different personalities. It's quite funny. Their personalities just clash like anything. But I do have the, I read the first book, and I do have the other 6 books now. And yeah, it's such a good series. And this is by Kate Quinn, The Briar Club. She does history books, and I haven't read any of hers, so she seems to get fairly good reviews, so I wanted to try one of hers. And this takes place in Washington in 1950, and so it follows these women who are staying at Briar House, a down-at-the-heels all-female boarding house in the heart of the nation's capital. And yeah, there's just a lot of politics going on, and some of them have secrets, and just follows all this woman during sort of the McCarthy era during the 1950s. And I did get a couple of Tia Cooper's books. She does history. Usually they're dual timelines, I believe. Yeah. So yeah, this one's a botanical illustrator, a missing baby, a twisty mystery 50 years in the making. And this is the naturalist's daughter. 2 fearless women living a century apart find themselves entangled in the mystery surrounding the biggest scientific controversy of the 19th century. So yeah, a lot of these are based on history and science and that. So I love that combination, history and science. And I do love medieval books, and this one takes place in 1310. The Mirror of Simple Souls by Lynn Kiner. So in 1310, Paris is alive with the talk of the trial of the Templars, and I'm fascinated by the Templars. So religious oppression is intensifying, execution pyres blacken the sky, and there's a community of independent women are free to work, study, and live their lives away from the domination of men. And I've heard about these places. They call it a beguinage. I know there's like communities in this time. I read another book about this where there's these communities of women during medieval times who are sort of self-sustained, and they sort of rule themselves and take care of themselves and that. So that's going to be a great read. And this is A Home for Friendless Women by Kelly E. Hill. And all these books I'm showing you right now are from Book Outlet. And this takes place in Victorian era Louisville. Bid you adieu and happy reading.